everyone, it's Graphic 45 brand ambassador Cal here, and I want to talk to you about a little leveled up project that I have done. When we look at the leveled up projects, basically what they are projects that you can take from past album or card kits that I'll tell you about in a minute, and what we do with them is we make them in our own style, or just maybe, I don't like to say jazz them up a little because you cannot beat this one, but let's just say we make it in our own style, do it our own way, and that's what leveled up is all about. Now, I don't know if you know this, but on the Graphic 45 blog there is an absolutely amazing resource. There's not just the shop, there's not just you know, lots of information on tutorials that, you know, the brand ambassador team does, or anything like that. But if you go and have a look in the album for past kit clubs, there are downloadable free of charge printable sheets for projects going back to 2019, and if you go back and back and back, they are just some amazing projects that you can just download and have a go at. It doesn't matter if you haven't got the same papers anymore, you can just go and make them your own, and that's exactly what I've tried to do with my project. So the project that I chose to level up was this beautiful kaleidoscope staggered tag watercolor album, and it's by a lady called Annette Green, who I'm a huge fan of, so I just couldn't wait to have a go. Now, I've actually used the Alice collection for mine, and I've also used some of the Graphic 45 long tags, and I've used some of the Graphic 45 ATC tags. What I haven't done that Annette did was, this is called a watercolor album because she's used the ivory coloured tags and used ink to make this beautiful watercolor effect around here. Now, I didn't have any long cream tags, so I used long craft tags on mine, which wouldn't really have had this effect on them, so it was that or black, so I kind of worked my way around that. But this is such a great little technique that I thoroughly recommend. If you have a look at this downloadable sheet, that you have a look at that. I also didn't use any flowers, and I'll show you for why in a minute, but other than that, I put the project together in the way that she did. I just you know, added a few little things of my own. So this is the instructions. As you can see, it's really comprehensive. I mean, if you're just starting out making, you know, this is just amazing because you get all of the sizes to cut out, and it's in a fantastic resource, so I thoroughly recommend you go and have a look. So what did I do? Well, I took Alice because I love Alice, and this is the project that I made. Now, this is called a staggered tag album, and the reason I think you'll be able to see here is because it's staggered. All of these pages are a different length. It's a little difficult to see because of the clip that I've got in there, but these are all a different size, and they're all made from, these are the long Graphic 45 tags. And what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to show you how I used my short Graphic 45 tag die, which is this one, to work on the long tag. So I'm going to show you a little tip for how to make that work. Now, what's clever about Annette's design is I don't think she used the dies at all, so there's something for everybody here. So let me take you through my little book. I've used Alice's Tea Party, which is a collection that I've used a few times because I just love it. There's some fussy cutting, so I've just fussy cut some of the flowers here, and what I like to do is take a base image and then layer it up. So if you have a look here, you'll be able to see that I've taken the base image, because we get two of everything, because I used a 12 by 12 collection pack. I have cut out those images from a second piece of paper, and I've laid them up onto bits of chipboard just to give it some real interest. And I know it's kind of difficult for you to see here, but layering things up just gives things such a pop. So that is my front cover. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this off because it's going to let me show you a lot better how I've put things together. So that's my front cover. Open it up, and what we've got here, because you have to fold the long tags up, is you've got a little pocket. And I've used my ATC tags here, and I've just popped them in this little pocket that you make, that Annette shows you how to make in the class. Now each of these images here, once again, because I've got 2 of them, I've layered that up. So I've fussy cut and laid it up, and if you ever use that technique yourself, you'll just see what a difference it makes. It's absolutely fantastic. Then, or that should be that way around. Then on this side, what I've got, because we've got the pockets in this one, the pockets are facing each other. I've done that again. I've got my couple of little ATC tags there, and I've layered up my little my card there. Open it up, and then the next 2 pages that you've got are actually flat. There's no pockets on here. So once again, I've fussy cut my flowers. I've added them onto a bit of chipboard to raise them up, and I've taken various images, cut them out and layered them up there as well. And this is one of the stickers. So if I just turn that to the side, you'll see how I've layered that up. But I just love the effect that that gives you. For a bit of definition, I've actually taken my Sharpie as well and gone round, you know, the outside of this image, so it just really stands out. Turn it over, and once again, you can see here we've got the pockets, because the tags are folded, and the pages, because they're staggered, they're getting longer in size, so these pocket bits are getting shorter. But it's exactly the same process. So I've got my couple of little ATC tags, which I have matted, and I've put those into these little pockets, and then just added these playing cards on top, which of course I have layered up, and you can see that quite nicely there. Then we've got these 2 pages that stand alone. These are flat, and I've just decorated these up. So I've got some of my fussy cut flowers here. I have got that bit that I've cut and layered up onto chipboard, and then we've got this sort of like playing card here. On the same here, I've got my queen. So she's all layered up. It's such an easy technique. Anybody can do it. So easy to put together. And then on this page here, I've got my Mad Hatter. I've got my ATCs. I have used the Graphic 45 trims, which are just absolutely lovely, and you get 3 different trims in each pack, and this is the ivory one that I've used. And then the same here. Finally, we've got our layered up little playing card men, and then on the back I've just used one of the stickers. So that is my layered tag book. I think if I do that, you can see here the staggered size, but that is how I've put mine together. Now I did want to talk to you about how to make my if I'm going to be cutting out here, obviously that die that I've got there, which fits the top beautifully, isn't long enough here. So I'm going to come back in a minute with my big die cutting machine, and I'm going to show you how I've made those longer. Now, I expect most of you probably know this little trick, but for those of you who don't, it's really easy. Now, I've got my Graphic 45 long tag, and I've got my die, which makes this beautiful shape, which I can pop on to, I think I've got one here. I can pop onto one of my regular size tags, and it fits absolutely perfectly. But I haven't got one that's long enough for this. So as you can see here, if I cut that out, that is going to be too short to cover my tag. So I need to find a solution. So here's what I do. I've got my die cutting machine. I've got a piece of card or paper that I want to cut, and I've got the plates. So every cutting machine has a different sort of like sandwich of plates, but I'm going to put those down ready for mine. So those 2 plates are lined up. I've got my paper, which I'm going to pop in there, and I've got my die. Now, if I was just cutting this regularly, I'd just put my die on top of there, roll it through the machine, happy days, all sorted. But because I need this to be a little bit longer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lie that die down on top of that paper like that, but it's going to be hanging off the edge of the plate there like that. So I'm going to put my top plate on, making sure not to get it too out of line, and I'm going to roll that through my die cutter. Okay, so I've run that all the way through. So what I'm left with here is my shape that's cut out, but the bottom isn't cut. So what I can do is I can get a knife or my trimmer, and I can cut it to length. Well, I would find that trimmer if I knew where it was. So I can take my trimmer now and I can cut this to the exact size that I want it. So let's pop that in there. Cut that. I'm just going to cut this off at an arbitrary size. It doesn't really matter. I just measure, you know, so that it's exactly the right size. I'm just going to round my edges, and now I've got that tag die cut that is long enough. It could be too long for there, but you get the idea. That's how I would make my die work for a longer tag when I don't have a die that is long enough, if that makes sense. So that is how I put my Alice staggered tag book together. Don't forget to go and have a look at the Graphic 45 blog, where you can download all of these absolutely fantastic class sheets for any number of different projects. You can spend a nice few weeks making those up, I reckon. But if you've made one of these in a similar style to me, I'd love to see it. Please pop it up in the Graphic 45 community group on Facebook. And I will see you guys soon with another project. Take care. Bye.